whatever you think. Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityormamritangamaya. Simply ask the mind to recognize. You see, recognize? You have a word cognition, cognitive masses. What is the cognitive masses? Means I am understanding that I am moving from the false to real. Asato ma sate. Simply repeating, singing. Singing, you may become Beyonce, you may become a great singer. Yes, singing plus contemplation and reflection is required. So you see, asato ma satgamaya. So intellectually we understand. So now cognize, cognitive masses. What is cognitive masses? False. What is false? Pick up only one thing. Whatever is changing is recognized as a false. Body is changing? Yes. The body has some problem? Okay. It did not have a problem yesterday. Today it has. It is changing. So let me take care, but don't create a label that I am the body. Where? In your intellect. So when you do not create a label in the intellect. That is known as the cognition. False I keep changing. Body, breath, mind, intellect, ego are all changing. I just told you that I woke up late today instead of 3:35. It's okay. Then what? Let me continue. So you have to set the tone of the mind to remind that real is unchanging, all pervading, and that is where we have to settle our life. That is the meaning asato ma satgamaya. Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya. How? By removing the ignorance. Removing the ignorance. Again, we need an understanding. Ignorance cannot be removed by action. If you want to say, we were talking about the false, what we were talking, ripe ego. Unripe ego cannot be removed by any action. It has to be removed by knowledge, cognition, understanding. So move from the ignorance to wisdom. And then what is the result? Result is mrityurmamritangamaya. Amrit. The word is used as amrit. The a prefix is there, and mrit means dead, immortality. So I find, I discover, I don't create, I find, I discover there is an immortal. Immortal means not dying. Not dying means not changing. Who is that? That is my real self. That is the nature of our real self. Cognitive change has to come. So now understand clearly that the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom, sometimes they say practice, sometimes they say no. Now see what is the practice. We normally say still your restless mind. So still your restless mind. and you are saying that don't move the body. Remember the word S. So still your restless mind by making the body, by making or aware or cognition of the body in comfortable and carefree. So in being comfortable, you move to the sensation, comfort and steadiness. So when you experience that, again you see, is it a practice or it is simply a knowledge? Or it is both? So in Saturday's session, it is all about our cognitive understanding means knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge that does not change. Okay, knowledge that does not change. So by making aware of the condition, oh body, you are comfortable and carefree, you experience sensation, comfort and steadiness. Now in that case, the mind is looking inside. Let it happen. Let it happen. Inside means rise in awareness. It is not inside the body, you are not looking into the bones and muscles. That is another language used by our masters. They say, invite the divine within. We have been inviting what? We have been inviting attachment, aversion. We are inviting. That is why, we get upset. We invite anxiety, we invite anger, hesitation. So the master is saying, invite the divine within. Look at this symbolic. That is the word I, letter I. So when you invite, means you rise in awareness, means you are aware of the other thoughts, feeling and emotions. Okay? And what happens? You let go of the worldly thoughts. Then what happens? You are already an observer. You are already an observer. Really? Just check it. If you are following me every step, yeah, it seems that, I'm just here, yeah. So now what happens? Now you see, I discussed about the letter S, then I, then L, let go of worldly thoughts, then the word E, letter E, embrace the present moment. The present moment is always pure, free from impulsive nature. That is what the present moment say. We embrace the present moment. And now we see that when you embrace the present moment, when you embrace the present moment, behind it you find peace. So letter N, nurture the inner peace. Don't nurture the anxiety in relationship to the world that is changing. So behind that present moment, you nurture the peace. And the T word letter is that you teach the mind by intellect the very presence here and now. That is the another word I used to explain silent. So this is known as the silence in Eastern wisdom. No, there are thoughts, where I have no silence. There is a outer noise, that is why there is no silence. Okay, let there be total silence. How can you hear what your mind is saying, that there is a silence or not? You cannot recognize it. You are unconscious, you are sleeping. So if you are seeking silence of the sleep, then it is not a part of the Eastern wisdom. Silence is always there. Silence is always there. And now that is another way you can open your eyes now. See that. That is another way we can invoke that silence and live into that. So this master says only an understanding is required. But that understanding means, what is that understanding? I know your home address. So does your home address change? No, it does not change. But if anything that changes, that is, if the knowledge is progressive and changing, it means it is pertaining to the worldly knowledge. But if the knowledge that does not change, it is pertaining to the absolute knowledge. It is the knowledge of the real self. How can you understand that? Cognition, how we can understand? Clay pot, clay is there. Home, brick, in the brick, clay is there. Bucket of clay, clay is there. So, where is the clay? Is clay outside the pot? Is clay inside or outside the home? Is clay inside or outside the bucket? Tell me where it is. It is everywhere. That clay does not, that awareness of the clay, that knowledge of the clay does not change. What changes? The name and the form. Here, in this session, you are a seeker. With another person, you are a husband, you are a wife, you are a daughter, you are a son, you are a friend. Find out what changes, what does not change. Is there anything in you that does not change? We start running after the change, and that causes the ignorance, that causes the problem. Is clay is all pot? Tell me. Yes. Where is the clay in a pot? Where is the clay in this house? Everywhere. Everywhere. So when I say cognitive change and cognitive understanding, can I bring myself to this awareness all the time? All the time. For transactional reality, living in the world, worldly affairs. One is honey to the other, second person is son to the other, daughter to the other, but still a human being. Just I'm explaining you. So, can I recognize this? What it takes me to live into that awareness. My attachment should not be there. I should not have anxiety. I should not have reaction to anyone. I should not have I-ness and my-ness. So do I live in a higher awareness? Answer is yes. I'm making it simple. We differentiate the clay as pot. I'm giving you the two metaphors simultaneously. We differentiate clay as a pot, as a home, as a bucket. Clear? We differentiate the same human being, as husband, as wife, as son, as daughter, we need an eye to perceive clay in all. That is a mental perception. That is what we say when we say we need an eye to perceive clay in all. That eye is the mental eye. That perception, that cognitive understanding. Where it is born in intellect. How it is born? By removing the ignorance. Can't you see the water in millions of ways? Can't you see the one consciousness pervading all of us in a session? Ask yourself. In order to see that, we have to understand discernment, ego, service attitude, and misperception of the reality. That is what we discussed last week. When you are attached to a person, soulmate, when you are reactive to another person, you say the sourmate. Do you ever become aware what causes these two perceptions in your daily life? Does the dog says that when the dog meets another, oh, you are my soulmate and you are my soulmate? It is impulsive. All animals. But when I see another person, I see through the impressions already present in the mind. She is a stranger. She is my soulmate. No, she is, no, I hate this. Master is saying discernment. When you discern what changes, you drop it, and what is. That is existence, that is my master used to say Sat. My master used to convey vichar karo. I am saying for the sake of Ashok, otherwise he will say, oh, your master never says this. He is more intelligent. So, that vichar means the viveka. When you are attached to any person, soulmate. When you are detached to another person, soulmate. The person you see at the physical level, at the mental level, at the causal level, misperception. Why you have misperception? Because of I-ness and my-ness. I'm taking the topic in a different way so that, I will come directly to what the author and the master, great master talks about. So I'm just opening these verses in a different way. The central cause of my turmoil is identifies as a cognitive, I'm using the word cognitive constructions of I-ness and my-ness. In Eastern wisdom, you can say ignorance, delusion, impurity. These constructs transform neutral objective event into a subjective incident, leading to attachment, reactivity, Delusion. Go back. Can you see the water in all the waves while you continue to see the waves also? That is your third eye. Now, what it takes in all wave is water. No, you see it. There is a direct cognition. I experience all the waves are water. You move from the false to the real. And still at the transactional level, we maintain, oh yeah, what happens then? Can I see I'm conscious? Yes, I can see I'm conscious. So the moment I'm conscious, I'm an observer, not an observed. What is observed are the waves. What is observed is the husband, wife, dual, huh? Enemy, friend, soulmate, soulmate, etc. But inside, I'm an observer. Observer is not the body. Observer is not the impulsive mind. Observer is the intellect. At this time, we will talk about it, how the observer changes. They're going little deeper. We are not removing I-ness or ego, but changing unripe ego to the ripe ego. Ego, you're my soulmate. Now a ripe ego, I'm an observer. Is it possible? Yes, it is 100% possible. Can I see this wall? Yes. Can I see the clay? Where I see the clay in this wall? Everywhere. I miss this point. I fall into ignorance. We are not removing I-ness or ego, but changing unripe to the ripe ego. I-ness, my-ness. So our masters gave us a model to understand this I-ness and my-ness is caused at the three layers: physical layer, body. This is my body, hence I am the body. What I'm saying is right: mental body, subtle body, causal body. Depending, based on the impression, I recognize you. Can I remove all the three? I transcend. I have an observer mindset. So when we have an observer mindset, there is a clarity in the mind. Anytime, anywhere. You're totally 100% clear. So how to have the clarity all the time? Continuous, I live vigilant, with vigilance. I live consciously. When? The moment you are waking state. I'm not saying the moment you are in a deep sleep. You are not aware, so there is no question of being an observer. In dream, you don't need that. Because once you wake up from the dream, you falsify the dream. But it is a big challenge to falsify in a waking state. Falsify our reaction, our anxiety, our anger, our ripe ego, it is very difficult. So in order to do that, we need a discernment and dispassion. We need a cognitive change. We have to live consciously, and that changes your perception. Perception, I said? Perception. This master gives another thought that your unripe ego is influenced directly by the three gunas, satoguna, rajoguna, tamoguna. So when you use the word I in relationship to yourself and the world in tamasic guna, you have a victim mentality, you have inertia, you have ignorance, you have hopelessness. It is marked by the self-pity, resistance to growth, avoidance of responsibility. It leads to stagnation and a closed-minded perspective. You are living in ignorance. What I'm trying to convey to you, the moment you say, no, I am, that I am guided by the tamoguna, you have a victim mentality, and that is why you claim that I am suffering because of you. You are wrong. You are suffering because of yourself. Because of tamsiguna. Not because of anyone outside. There's no chance. We have to put all the screw together to that leads to the cognitive understanding. And but if the same I is dominated, dictated by the Rajoguna, you have a pride, you have an ambition, you have a competition, you have dominance. This ego strives for personal gain and recognition. Are you wrong? I prove that you are wrong. Say sorry to me. This is Rajasic Guna. Okay, you have proved it. What you will get? You are still defensive and offensive all the time. It drives action, but often at the cost of peace, leading to emotional reactivity. 99% of relationship issues comes with the Rajasic and Tamasic. Oh, you said this, and you said I said this. I said I want to prove that what I said is right. What you said, I will prove that what you said is wrong. That is the relation. There is no other problem. So the master says you have to move to the satoguna, transparent, selfhood, humility, service oriented. I want to serve you. I want to express peace with you, honey. Come and sit. Ripe ego. Ripe ego can continue the journey of the self-discovery. Self-discovery. Think. Think. Last time also we discussed the same thing with the model, how the hands, feet, speech, reproductive organ works with reference to the three gunas and the five elements. Like hand, fire and air. So fire and air should be used for skillful action, selfless service, creative expression. Why? To remain in the mode of ripe ego. Otherwise you slip. You move to the unripe ego. That is why this model is there. So you can go through it. You can go through it. Have you understood the three gunas? Five elements? Who is this guy? Teacher, no, but look at the physical appearance. Physical, five elements, three gunas, three layers, three bodies, five gunas. So what about you? You are the same. So where is the difference? Difference comes with the unripe ego. Yeah, you look beautiful, you look handsome, I am not. I am old, you are young. You look at these differences of shape, size, traits of three layers. Shape, size, and traits of three layers are different. Name, form are different, like clay pot, clay, bucket, home, skyscrapers. They are different. Now remove the delusion. Name in the form. Apply the universal law. What is the universal law? The name in the form keeps on changing. If you are young today, another after 50 years you will be old. Is observer, does that observer which is of the nature of consciousness changes? No, it does not change. I am the observer. I am consciousness. Can I declare that I am consciousness? That is what the master is leading us to, that can I. But then after consciousness, so when I'm consciousness, then the question comes that what is this consciousness at all? How to understand that kind? Again, cognitive understanding. Saturday's session all about knowledge. Can wave live like a water? Can wave live as water? Can this home live as a space? We have not to escape the reality of the body, breath, mind, intellect, but about embracing it fully, knowing we are the very essence of existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is the term used for the real self, that who we are. We are existence, consciousness, bliss. We are not the body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. What is this existence? The Master says you can reach by understanding to a recognition and realization that I am the existence that appears as five elements, that appears as three layers of the body due to the play of the delusion that is the Maya. Understand, and again with the same example, you have millions of waves and the water is existence. Because of that existence, the wave exists. Space is existence. That is why the skyscraper, your house, my house, your restroom, my restroom, your bedroom, my bedroom exists. Are you getting it? Fact. It is a truth. It is a naked truth. You cannot deny it. No, I will deny. So remove the water. Show me the wave. Remove the space. Show me the skyscraper. Your home, my home. That is why it is existence. That is why I exist as a body, mind, breath, and intellect. I am existence. I am not what exists. I am existence. Who knows it? Consciousness. So that existence is consciousness also. I am the consciousness that knows through all elemental combinations. Because I am conscious, so I know all the three layers of the body, five elements, play of the gunas. Oh, it is unripe ego and it is the right. I know it. I am consciousness. I am existence and I am consciousness. I am existence and I am consciousness. Now you see that, discern. What is changing is not me. The body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego, all the three layers, five elements, three gunas are changing. I am not. I cannot be. So I am existence and I am consciousness. Both the sides. Negation and affirmation. And I am the fulfillment that I am the fulfillment, I am the permanent happiness. It is within me. How can you say that you are permanent happiness? Can you show me anything in the world which has a property of happiness? Your pasta that you like. You like your pasta, that is why it gives you happiness. If you dislike pasta, can it give you happiness? Anything, any event. Can you say, I found a wonderful partner whom I hate. Can you have love? What is the hate, like and dislike? It is the property of the mind. Happiness is inside. I am the nature of the happiness. I am of the nature of happiness. This is not a theory. It is a practical mastery with a cognition. But we have to contemplate and reflect every day in all the situations to reach to that state. Just imagine you are the vast infinite ocean. The waves, the currents, and even the foam are just temporary manifestation of you. Temporary manifestation of you, the ocean. The waves rise and fall. But the ocean depth, power, and the essence remain unchanged. Similarly, your body, your mind, your experiences are like the waves. Temporary forms. But you are the infinite Sat Chit Anand, existence, consciousness, bliss. Master is just laying the foundation and then he will explain everything. We have to cover all the 15 chapters, and once you cover the 15 chapters, you will say, yes, I am. There is no way, your mind cannot move anywhere. So when we say existence, I am the existence that appears. What exists is one thing, existence is another. Because of the existence, what exists? My body exists, your body exists, your house exists, your phone exists. What exists because of the existence? Wave exists because of the water. Small wave, big wave, tsunami, storm, all exist because of water. So can I say I am the existence that appears as the five elements? All elements exist because I am the existence. What exists is observed. Behind there is an observer. I'm the consciousness. How simple it is. How simple it is. I'm the observer after all. What exists is observed. So what exists today will not exist tomorrow. I'm 67, so add another 20 years. After 20 years, body, these three layers do not exist. So it means this is observed. This exists today. It will not exist after 20 years, but that consciousness continues to exist. No change. I am the consciousness that knows through all combinations. Three bodies, five elements, reaction, I make partner, I divorce, I marry, I fight, I live into sleep, passes through. I'm the consciousness, I'm the consciousness that knows through all the changes. Every sensation, thought happens in my awareness. Every thought, feeling, emotions are the recipes in a plate of consciousness. What I'm aware of, again you see, what I'm aware of is my experience, my thought, my feeling, and what is awareness is separate from it. Observer, I'm different. We have to contemplate and reflect again and again and again and again. Why? Because we have been living with falsehood, ignorance, delusion of different kinds. Ananda, I talked about permanent happiness. I am the Ananda, the permanent happiness that all elements and gunas are seeking. My unripe ego is seeking happiness from you, it is not there. Because I don't recognize that you are not the property of happiness. So when I don't recognize, I am in ignorance, so I fall into delusion, then I have a reaction, then I have a fight. Then I marry again, I divorce again, I marry again, for example. So don't think that, I use the marriage and divorce only in a relationship. It happens with a car also. It happens with a even simple instrument, your phone also. You hit the phone, it has become old. Let me replace it, upgrade it. That upgraded means you divorced the previous phone and you married with a new phone. It is the same thing. So take the marriage and the divorce in a vaster, deeper meaning. So I am the permanent happiness, the happiness that I seek through my sensory experiences is my own nature. I'm not getting happiness from there. I'll talk about it. That master has explained beautifully that experience takes place in three stages. When I experience the pleasure in eating, pleasure in buying a car, it happens in three stages, which happens in the mind. I think of it, I desire it, I possess it, I use it. So three stages of pleasure. We'll talk later. So you see that what happens now. What is the ultimate recognition? You wake up in the morning, you have to remind yourself. Now we have a cognitive understanding. Why I have to remind? Mind is filled with all the objective world. The worldly intellect is there, not the spiritual intellect. Worldly intellect is there. Worldly intellect constantly watches, feels, and observes what is changing. Or you can say Eastern wisdom intellect, you can say spiritual intellect, whatever you say. Or you can say let us discover yourself with the discernment, it becomes the same thing. So that is why the master says the moment you wake up, you have to practice Mangalacharan, you have to practice meditation to remind yourself. Very reminder, very recognition will gradually and progressively will drop the delusion. Oh, Ashok has missed. Ashok is missing. Oh. So that is what understanding that your senses, your organs, your mind, your intellect and ego are elemental. Three gunas, five elements, three bodies, they are changing. What is changing is false. It cannot lead me to existence, consciousness, and bliss. When you sit every day, when you contemplate and reflect every day, then only this knowledge becomes clear. You have a cognitive understanding, and that, what is understanding? Here is Christina, I know it. So Christina will remain Christina in my memory, in my understanding. Whether she marries, she remains single, she leaves anywhere, or even if she becomes 150 years old, just let us assume it. We should be happy. So, Christina, can I have that knowledge of who I am? So, the Master is explaining that I am absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. So that we need to discover and authenticate by removing the delusion and ignorance. So how this delusion, ignorance, reaction, anger, anxiety, duality, they are the play of five elements, three gunas, three bodies, permutation and combination. Their permutation and combination recognizes Dennis is a Dennis, Christina is Cassis, David is a David, Jerry is a Jerry, but behind that, beneath the skin, five elements, three bodies, three gunas. Plus, you can add five senses, five motor organs. This master has gone to that level, subtler level. Think. Contemplate and reflect. I am existence. What exists? Because I am existence, that is the real I. Because of which false I exists. What is false I? Body, breath, mind, intellect, and ego. The name and the form, for example, of Dennis exists because of existence. The same metaphor I gave you, all the waves exist because of water. So there is some entity, some common thing. What is that common? Is existence, consciousness, and bliss. Bliss means permanent happiness, consciousness. Now see that. I was just contemplating and I had a big laugh at myself and especially my intellect. I said, does a dog recognizes that this guy is my brother, my honey, my partner, or I have nothing to talk to this guy? But the humans have. We humans have. So how come it has? Because of the intellect and because of feeding the information, creating a perception. One is a wife or a husband. Does animals also recognize like this? There is no cognition, so it is the intellect which is free intellect can recognize. And then it creates an impression. And that impression, through that impression, I recognize that you are my honey. If you become my honey, does your eyes change? Does your lips change? Does your body change? Nothing changes. Do you see the delusion? Today I'll go and I'll tell my honey that you are a delusion. No, you remove that delusion from your own mind. So that is the point Master is making. Water to the waves. The water is existence because of which wave exists, storm exists, tsunami exists. Space is the existence because of which the skyscraper or your house or my house or your bedroom or your restroom or your highway, everything exists because of that existence. And that existence is of the nature of consciousness. And consciousness through the intellect, I know everything. And then the master puts another point that we are the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. That is ananda, the bliss. Just see, look at a point. You go to the market, dealer. You like a particular car. So first is liking. Liking. So when I like something, I have yet to possess it, it gives me some sort of happiness. If you dislike it, doesn't give you happiness. We already know it. I'm explaining why the happiness is my nature, why the happiness is not the property of anything in the world. So I forget I like, I'm happy with this car, I'm happy with the pasta. So that happiness is a pleasure in the mind. I have yet to get it. That is the first level of thinking. Second level is possession. We explain it in Eastern wisdom as Priya, Mod, Pramod, PMP. Priya means, I like. You go outside in a mall, you see some handsome and six-pack guy, or you see Brandy told me the antonym, a cute and beautiful girl. I like it. Who told you to like it? Why? Did you question? No. Why you didn't question? Mind moves with impulsivity. I don't. Just see that is liking. That is the first level of pleasure or first level of happiness. Second, now you repeat that thoughts of liking. I like pasta, I like pasta, I like pasta. It does impulsively, subconsciously. Now you want to possess it. So you possess a person. Internally we possess a person. Outside we say, yes, you are my honey, you are my equal partner. Then if you are my equal partner, then I don't have any problem. I don't fight. I don't have any reaction. But if I have it, I have a problem. So that possessiveness, I possess pasta, I possess a particular food, I possess a car, this gives me little more happiness. So first level is the liking. I get little pleasure. When I possess it, it gives me more pleasure. So my mind in delusion thinks that this car and this pasta contains the property of happiness. And the delusion reaches to its peak when I drive the car, when I eat the pasta. When I marry. Marry means, dating, you can say it's a kind of liking and all that. Engagement is possessiveness now. Now I possess you and you possess me. Everything is gone. So these three layers of pleasure we enjoy in everything. And we claim that, I become happy if I get this house, I become happy if I marry this one, or if I divorce that. So that is the nature of. So that happens because I am agitated. The last point is also very important. So I have explained you. The master goes further. I like, it gives me some kind of a pleasure. I like, it is an agitated state of the mind. And when I say I like, my agitation goes down, and the happiness from within I experience, but my mind superimposes the pleasure on that person. Happiness still comes from me. When I possess it, I know this car does not have a property of happiness. It is happiness from within. Why the happiness manifested? Because that desire to possess was agitating my mind. Now I possess, so that agitation has gone down. It has given a room and a space for my happiness to be expressed, which I feel as if possessing this object gives me the happiness. If you are clear, the car does not have a property of why? It is inert. It is unconscious. Food, it is unconscious. It is inert. If it really has a property of happiness, then it is conscious. Then pasta is on your plate, and pasta will say, "No, I will not allow you to eat because you rejected me yesterday. You left it, it was thrown out, it went into the garbage. You ordered it and you threw it." No, we have lot waste of food. So we have reached to a point that I am of the nature of. Now we will explore further in our next session. I am absolute existence, consciousness, and bliss. That is what we have reached briefly. That is open for reflection. Terry, you want to say something? No, it's okay. David and Jerry. Anytime you want to say Terry, you can interrupt. Yes, David and Jerry.
Thank you. I got interrupted with the dryer delivery for a big chunk of that, so I will have to re-listen and watch this again. So I'll report back later on email. Thank you.
No problem. Jerry.
Thank you, sir. I think that when that attachment to the real self is there, then we see through our attitude, our behavior, our conduct, where we might be stuck.
Yes.
So in that impulsive default mind. So anytime that, if we're attached to our essence, then we're not compelled to ever go against that. It always shines, it's always bright. It doesn't create stress or anxiety or agitation or any problems. It just sees the event as they are and knows what to do, the right thing. It knows right action.
Beautifully said. Essence is essential. Water is essential for the wave. An attachment, if I am attached to non-essential. means the waves, means the likes and dislikes, means the impulsive mind, means the default mind. So it means for a couple of weeks, months, and years, I have to maintain that vigilance. I have to live consciously in my life in a waking state. In sleep and dream state, we don't need that. You have a beautiful or dreaded dream, when the moment you wake up, your mind falsifies the dream. But to falsify the dreams we are living in a waking state is a big challenge. That is the journey. Brandy, you want to say something?
Basically, what you just said, seems to me that if we can sort out that we're not the external, the matter, just like we're not the dreams, then we can be in that ananda, we can be in that true happiness, which is our pure essence, which goes on whether or not we're in this embodiment or dealing with these situations or in a dream or any of it. And it's like this always for years now, the simplicity of the Saturday sessions, but not always easy to apply if you don't remember.
Yes, you're right. Mondays and Thursdays sessions prepare you to become a seeker. There, as long as you don't become a seeker, you have to do lot of things. Once you are a seeker with a fourfold qualification, there comes simply the knowledge and understanding. You simply get the knowledge from the teacher, you contemplate, reflect, you question it, you remove the doubt, and you are there. So there are two parts of it. As long as we reach to the highest level of a seeker with a complete discernment, and we can have a state of dispassion at any moment in life. Any moment in life. It does not mean that you see, over past habit it takes time to die. For example, your partner, you look at the partner and you have a reactive tendencies, and you reacted, but the next moment you remember. The next moment you remember, you withdraw. Roll off ripe ego. But you don't withdraw, roll off unripe ego. So it's all a play and a fun that we can do every day in life. On the other hand, one more thing that is very important to understand, that you can directly follow the Saturday session, but you have to be extra vigilant in your life, in a waking state. Yes, Dennis, you have to, now it's your turn.
Higher consciousness is present in all beings and objects, the same way clay is present in the clay pot or water is present in the waves. And when our perception is limited by the sense organs and the default mind, we see higher consciousness in the form of objects, people, events, etc. We perceive objects as separate, self-contained, and changing, and this is the main delusion. This delusion is the root of our suffering, because we perceive the world not as it is, but the way we want it to be. And when this misconception meets the reality, it hurts and we suffer. As we purify the mind and develop our intellect, we understand that there is a common factor in everything we perceive. And first it comes as a intellectual understanding, maybe supported by science, such as quantum physics, for instance, that explains how every particle in the universe is not separate, but interconnected with each and every one of other particles. And when this knowledge descends into the mind, we also get the feeling of how this common factor works in everything and everyone. such things as blaming someone or hurting someone becomes so unnatural, not because of morality or religion or laws, but because of recognition of this unity with everyone. And if I'm one with everyone, then what's the sense of blaming or hurting anyone?
Beautifully said. Modern science, uses the worldly intellect, if I say. The intellect that perceives, understands the phenomena of the changing world. We want the Eastern wisdom is, if I use the word spiritual intellect for the sake of understanding, it wants to find out who am I. Science wants to know who is this? What is this? Who am I? So the process may appear different, but ultimately they follow the same type of understanding to reach to the unity. The word that Dennis used, yes, unity, that oneness. All the waves, oneness is water. All the house, skyscraper, street, space gives that sense of unity. Can I see that essence? Can I become aware of that essence? What prevents my attachment, my impurity of the mind, my impulsive nature, my fight, my anger, my hesitation, my expectations, my ego? A lot of words are used. Beautifully said. Yes, Christina.
Thank you, Girish. It's so fruitful of these lessons, and it feels like they're directed at me because this is things that I've been speaking with my near and dear ones, and what how Drew was saying as well about the existence, and there's that form of attachment, and living in that attachment for so long has given, the misconception of who we are. And so it's just a beautiful thing to have this realization and the knowledge of consciousness within all bliss. So thank you for bringing this lesson to today's lesson.
Beautiful. Just think, does existence will cry if I die? The birth, growth, aging process, and the death of this creature is a joy of the existence. It wasn't joy at the time of the birth, it was joy as I grow. It was the joy, am I aging? And it will be the joy. Drop this guy. Bring someone else. Just think. Existence never cries. Existence is never worried. Existence is not attached. Buddha, the Krishna, the Jesus, and all these great masters you see. Buddha says, oh no, the existence says, yes, I'm always in joy. Don't see through your eyes of attachment and delusion. That eye of delusion means mental perception. That is why we use the third eye. Eyes means to perceive, to see. This existence is not going to be worried about this guy. Existence can drop this guy tomorrow. Next week's session will not be there. Or maybe for another 10, 15 years. But that existence is doing everything in joy. Full of joy. Continue contemplation and reflection. That is all for today. We will meet again. Thank you.
Thank
you, sir.
No.